I was okay, you know. It was, and I started to really understand that these bikes are built for that. They're built for the long distance, you know. Welcome to another episode of Al Mac. Al Mac. If you're new to my channel, please like and subscribe. I have a lot of new content coming over these next couple of months, a lot of exciting trips and whatnot, and a lot of topics that I really want to discuss with you guys. Um, Today, I want to discuss a topic that one of my good friends and I spoke about 2 weeks ago. And he asked me, "What is it like, riding a big touring bike? And how was it when I first started riding touring bikes?" Um, for me, when I first started riding touring bikes, these bikes were really intimidating because they're so big and heavy, guys. So I really had to learn a lot of basic skills over again because I was used to riding a small 750 cruiser. But my first big touring bike was my Honda ST 1300, and I'm not sure of the exact weight of that bike, but that bike weighs right around 700 pounds. It's between 680, 700, or something like that. And I remember when I first rode the bike, and you know, in the parking lot, the bike was heavy. Doing slow speed maneuvers was a little different than it was on my small on my small Harley Cruiser. But on the road, the bike just had so much power, and it was so smooth, and I was so comfortable on it. And I quickly understood why people like these big bikes for touring. And it was just a different experience, and I had bought that bike in the middle of the winter. When I bought my Honda ST, it was February. In February in DC, it's not freezing cold, but it's cold enough. So it was around 50, 40 degrees, something about that. And I remember thinking, wow, this bike is blocking all of the wind, but it was still a big, heavy bike, you know? Um, I don't know. It was just different. There were some things that I found more difficult to do on it, but there were things that I found easier to do on it. Um, Definitely heavier to push around the parking lot. For me, I found the bike a little more difficult to do slow speed maneuvers on. Um, but I quickly learned these things. I took my bike out to a parking lot, and I just practiced doing, U-turns and figure eights and slow speed maneuvers. I practiced getting the bike on and off of the center stand. I practiced just pushing it back and forth in a parking lot. Um, I practiced starting and stopping. That's a big thing on, big touring bikes. That's kind of difficult. Is that, when you're stopping and starting a bike, it's stopping and starting on the street, there's not as much room for error, because if that bike starts to tip at 700 pounds, it's going over, guys. And honestly, I will let it go over, because I think that it's almost more dangerous trying to stop it, because you might hurt yourself. And a lot of these touring bikes, they have guards and whatnot, and they can withstand a basic tip over. Um, but yeah, the things that I really loved about my big touring bike when I first got it is, my first big trip was on that bike, was I took it out to the Blue Ridge Parkway. And on my small Harley, I would have had back pains and leg pains because I rode the bike for about 12 hours in one day. But when I rode that bike for 12 hours and I got off of it, man, like, I was okay. It was, and I started to really understand that these bikes are built for that. They're built for the long distance. Um, I didn't get as much wind, so I didn't really have to worry about, you know, um, my earplugs, because wind wasn't blowing all in my face like it would have been on my Harley. So I didn't have to take Advil, which I normally have to take when I'm touring. It just made it a more pleasant experience. These big touring bikes, they're not for everybody. Like everybody, some people they're going to say that they don't want to deal with the weight, and I understand, and that's why there's so many different type of bikes, but my experience on these big touring bikes have been positive, and especially when I've used them what they're built for, which is touring. I'm comfortable on it, and these bikes are wonderful. I recently bought this Goldwing, and honestly, this bike is more comfortable than my ST 1300. You know, so I really understand why a lot of the older guys have bought this bike here, because it's out of control comfortable. But yeah, if you are thinking about getting a touring bike, guys, I'm gonna tell you, just do it. But when you do it, spend some time out in the parking lot and really practice starting and stopping again. Practice your U-turns. If the bike has the center stand, practice getting the bike on and off of the center stand. Just spend time getting to know the bike, because it's going to be a lot different than your lighter motorcycles. All right. Well, guys, I hope your day is going well. I hope to see you guys out on the road. If you see me on the road, feel free to flag me down. I'm always happy to meet people that are viewing my videos. Okay, so have a great day. It's your boy Al Mack.